1. Roll call of officers or commissioners.
Commissioner Carrillo,
Present.
Commissioner Teresa Baxter,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Winkler,
Here.
and Chairperson Rivera and Commissioner Abadi are absent for the record.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Francis.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
There are no adjustments to the agenda.
Public appearances. Matters not appearing on the agenda. If you wish to address the Planning Commission concerning any item not appearing on the agenda and within the Commission's jurisdiction, please raise your hand and be acknowledged by the chairperson. And at that time, state your name and address for the record. The chairperson reserves a right to place a time limit on each person's presentation of 3 minutes. It is requested that longer presentations be submitted to the Commission in writing. Is there anyone that's wishing to speak at this time? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to our consent calendar. Approve Planning Commission meeting minutes for March 26, 2025.
I make a motion to approve the Planning Commission meeting minutes for March 26, 2025.
I'll second.
Can we get a vote?
Please. Motion carries 3-0.
Okay, Planning Commission new business, discussion action, recommend or deny. Appointment of a non-voting planning commissioner and an alternative to the Friends of Imperial Parks Committee for the 2025 calendar year. And we can do this in one motion if someone would like to make a motion.
Did anybody have a specific interest in doing that before?
Would you guys like me to give the staff report?
That'd be great.
Okay, so, good evening, Vice Chair and Commissioners. My name is Anthony Lopez. I have the pleasure of not only being the Parks and Recreation Director here for the City of Imperial, but also the President and Founder of Friends of Imperial Parks. So, Friends of Imperial Parks, just to give you a brief overview, it was established in 2022 as a 501c3 to support all city functions, parks, youth programs, and different things that the city does. It was a avenue to seek funding and grants that a municipality would not be eligible for, to kind of bring other sources of funding into different projects that the city's doing. So as part of the board that we have currently, we have a city council member non-voting, and we would like one of you guys to be our sitting commissioner non-voting on the board as well. These two positions will be attending meetings. We hope to start resume meeting end of May. We will email that appointment, the schedule, the calendar invites, and those times and dates to be consistent for everybody to be able to attend. The reason we have a commissioner and council member is the city needs to be aware of everything we're doing, right? Ultimately, if the nonprofit has to funding to do a project at the city, it's city property, will be modifying. It would come through the commission and then to the council after that for final voting on. So we would like you guys to be, or one of you guys to be an honorary board member on our committee if you guys would like to appoint somebody this evening.
Is there a day that you guys are looking at? I mean, some of us already have prior engagements, other meetings or whatnot we would be attending. So just kind of get an idea what days are you guys usually meet.
So our bylaws are flexible and to the point where we're actually recruiting right now for new board members. So once we finish our recruitment process, hopefully by the beginning of May, we will reach out to all of the above. We will get a date or a reoccurring meeting time or day that works for all, and we will go from there. If we need to at any point pivot from that date that we set, we can do so by board action and then move on from there at that point.
And I think, Tony, in the past, it had been once a month on a Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
And so it might change, but I think that's probably somewhere in the evenings and maybe once a
Yeah,
month.
typically it would be the last Tuesday, the last Tuesday of the month, in the evening hours. But that's flexible, right? Once we establish all of our members. We will reach out again, and make sure it works for everybody. We all understand we have commitments outside of work, your commission, duties and other things you might be participating in. And we want to be mindful of that as well, so that we ensure that you're there and up to date on what activities we're doing as a nonprofit.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I'm willing, especially if it's like on the last Tuesday of the month. I'm flexible that day, so.
I'm willing to serve as an alternate for you. I think there's also an alternate position.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
so, yeah.
Okay, so do we need a motion and a vote on that? Okay, so is that our motion?
So who are you nominating as your primary?
Motion for Francisco to serve as the primary.
Except,
Okay, and who will be the?
Second will be Rebecca.
Rebecca.
The alternate will be Rebecca.
Now you need a second for the motion though, right?
Yes.
I second the motion.
Okay, so I'll call for vote.
Okay. Go ahead. Lisa, hit yours again. Motion carries 3-0.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll move it down to item D2. Public hearing, discussion, action. Public hearing to consider approval of tentative map 24-02 for Monterey Park, APN 064-295-084 and APN 064-281-068. The request is consistent with the previously certified negative declaration in accordance with the requirements of the California Environmental Quality Act. Okay, so we'll open up public hearing at 6:38. So is there anybody from the public that would like to address Monterey Park, the tentative map? Right?
Could I introduce the project first?
Yes.
Thank you. This project proposes subdividing the subject parcel into 11 parcels to build 11 additional homes within the Monterey Park subdivision. The densities, net change, and overall footprint of the project align with the scope of the previously conducted environmental analysis under CEQA. And staff has determined that no further environmental evaluation was necessary. This public hearing was duly noticed in the Hopeville Tribune and Calexico Chronicle newspapers of general circulation on April 10th, 2025, and a notice of public hearing was mailed to all property owners within 300 feet of the property. After further review by city staff, it is staff's recommendation to forward the project to the Airport Land Use Commission to determine the land use compatibility within the airport's sphere of influence before moving forward to city council approval. And our city attorney can elaborate on that.
I think you explained it well, just because the Airport Land Use Commission does review and give recommendations as to compatibility with the airport due to the location, and we've let the developer know. It's my recommendation that you do, after the discussion and determination today, forward it on to review for the Airport Land Use Commission to make comments.
Additionally, we have the developer, Dan Dobron, in attendance via Zoom, if you have any questions for staff and him.
Okay.
You can open the public hearing.
Okay, so now the public hearing, is there anybody here that would like to address it? And we'll open the public hearing at 6:40? Or was it already open?
It's already
Okay.
open. Do you want to, if there's nobody that would like to speak, you can close it.
Well, and Dan might, oh, there you go.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, please step to the microphone and state your name and address, please.
Good evening, Vice Chair and Commissioner. My name is Omar Zabalza, and my address is 2015 Valle Verde Lane, Imperial. And I'm just here because I'm concerned about the traffic. I know that we only have one entrance to the community, and I know that creating, another 11 homes in the community is probably going to increase the traffic flow when it comes to people going in and out. There's no exit on that side where the proposed new little community is supposed to be. So we are concerned about the traffic that we're going to encounter with 11 new homes in the community, just because there's only one entrance. So I don't know if the developer is thinking about possible options or alternatives as to how that's going to look like to be able to improve that traffic, or how is that going to impact the community itself.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Has there been a traffic study in that area?
Yes, it has, yes. And it was part of the environmental review a couple of years ago. And we looked at it, and all the items have been addressed. And we didn't think that it needed an amendment to the traffic study because there's only 11 lots, so the increase in density is very small. Just to add a little bit to it, there's two entrances to Monterey Park. So it's the main entrance on Monterey Park Lane and Mirador, but both of them go into Brewer. The developer, as part of the conditions of approval, there's no additional entrances, from that area to the canal or any other way. There has been a lot more concerns as well, not only the traffic increase from the residents, but also the,
Oh, just get a
Should
little
I-
closer. I'm not
I'm
sure you
sorry,
can hear
I
everything.
do
Yeah,
apologize.
great.
So not only the traffic increase from the residents, but also there's a speeding issue that we weren't aware of. We took one item to Traffic Commission a couple years ago, but the issue was more of the side visibility at Brewer and Monterey Park Lane, which we addressed. But we noticed, we received complaints, and the developer is open to suggestions from the Planning Commission. One of the things that we're thinking is, stop signs, placements, and turn locations, so which he's open to it.
How recent are those complaints?
What was that?
How recent are those complaints?
We received, the first initial complaint was Monday, I believe,
Yesterday.
yesterday. Oh, yesterday, I thought it was Monday. But
Are there any speed bumps or anything like that over there?
speed
There's
bumps
nothing.
and yes, there's items, speed bumps, speed humps, or stop signs. I'll recommend stop signs to be placed at certain locations, because speed bumps and speed humps, you're also dealing with in case of a fire, you're dealing with a fire engine, so it slows down a little bit. So, but it's up to the planning commissioners to provide a recommendation as well.
Would that be at this time as a condition of approval, or would that be something that you guys could do with direction from the council, or?
I will recommend for you to, as a condition of approval, I will recommend that. We can leave it open, as to staff, will determine the exact locations of the stop signs as we see it fit. But you can also make the recommendation as the placement at the exact location of those stop signs. But I'll also,
That's correct. Do you have a recommendation on those placement of the stop
well,
signs?
for now, I would say just in the middle of the development of Monterey Park Lane. So that would be just to slow down the traffic, but the reality is that we need to go out there, do a speed survey, take a look at it, and maybe not only be just one, probably
more than one.
two. So, maybe, as a condition of approval, leave it, minimum.
If I can add a comment as well, Otone.
Yeah, go ahead. That's Dan Dobra, the developer.
I know, guts.
Go ahead.
Good evening, commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to be on Zoom. I'm sorry that I couldn't be there in person tonight. As far as this concern just came up, and Otone just addressed it with me like an hour ago, and so. But in thinking of the traffic situation there, if there is a speeding type issue on Monterey Park Lane, I think that if we looked at it, probably the best place is to put it. There are two pocket parks. One is on the east and one is on the west. And if I've got a family of 5 of my own, and so concern of traffic, especially in a subdivision like this, is a concern of mine as well. And I appreciate the resident that spoke, getting up and addressing his concerns of that. And I would say, after doing a study, I think it would probably show that those areas where the parks are, those little pocket parks, would probably be the best places served if we were to do 2, to where you're really slowing down traffic right by these pocket parks as well, where kids are playing at these playgrounds. You want to slow down that traffic at those locations. And so, but if we want to just put, that it would be to staff after doing some analysis to place some some stop signs and striping on Monterey Park Lane, we're all for that and we would be open to that.
That road is just is it a 2-lane? I don't drive through there very much, so I wasn't sure if it's a 2-lane road or 4-lane road.
It is a kind of like 4-lane at the entrance and then it becomes a 2-lane. So, but it's wide enough so we can make 4 lanes. We also have the residents, they live there. They can provide us a recommendation where the issues are at and they're here. I don't know if they'll be open to give us, their recommendation now.
Did you want to add something? Okay.
So I just want to add, I just want to, I know that they mentioned that there was some studies done for the traffic. I don't know when does that happen? Because I've been there for a year or so. And also I know that you guys mentioned that notices were sent regarding the hearing for houses that are at 300 feet or so from the developed area. I didn't get a notice and my house is actually the last before the new houses are being built. So I didn't get a notice. I actually was notified by a neighbor that told me about the hearing, so I didn't get it, even though I'm really close to the area. But also when it comes to the studies, when were those done to know about the traffic? And then also when it comes to the stop signs, we still have stop signs already like on the streets to go into the main Monterey Park entrance. So I don't know how the stop signs, the new stop signs might work. Because I know that in the morning there's buses that go pick up children for school. Obviously everyone's going out to go to work. So I just have I'm kind of trying to wrap my head around how are the new stop signs are going to help, because they're going to help with speeding, but traffic's still going to be there. So, and
Yeah,
then
so
and if the studies, I don't know when they were conducted as
Yeah,
well.
so there's two concerns. One is the traffic. The studies were conducted back in 2006.
Okay.
So
So we're
from
2025, so it's
Correct.
like over, like almost like 10 years, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
traffic was probably, I don't know how many houses were there in 2026.
So it's
2006
not,
to now.
it's not the how many houses you have there, is the how many houses they're gonna be building based on the impact they're gonna have when it's built. So if the recommendation is to do an amendment or an update to the traffic study, I think it's still gonna show that the same impact and whatever the mitigation measures are on the traffic study is still gonna be the same. And I'm only assuming,
Yeah,
but based on that.
because I know that you also mentioned that there's two entrances, and I know there's one entrance on the east side, but obviously there's a concentration of houses on that side that probably use that exit, and then the bulk of the community, and even on that west side, where I'm at, and then that new 11 houses that are being proposed are gonna be on that west side, so most likely it's gonna be coming from that main exit or entrance.
Right.
So that east one probably serves maybe those houses over there. Because let's say that if there's traffic, I'm not gonna go around to try to exit on the east side, which is way farther to where I'm at. So obviously all that west side, and those 11 houses are gonna be concentrated on that main exit, which it's gonna be impacted regardless, even though having two exits doesn't really make, much of a difference. Especially because on that east side, there's less houses than on the west side. Even with this addition of those 11 houses, it's gonna be way more, just relying on that main entrance and exit.
Oto, and if I can jump in really quick and answer a couple questions on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the original traffic study not only included the 597 lots for Monterey Park Lane, but the traffic study also included this parcel. And if I can add, when we were looking at what to do with this parcel, we could have done a lot of different things, with this parcel that would have added a lot more vehicles, a lot more traffic. It was originally approved for even a daycare use. It could have been a storage center where, hundreds of trailers would have been stored. We could have gone with a 60-unit, 3-story apartment complex. And we decided not to do any of those that would have definitely financially benefited us way more than what we presented. And the main reason we did it was because we've been there for so long and we have sold so many homes to people down that way. We did not want to burden this project with something that was like kind of an obtuse use. It made the most sense to just continue building the same houses we've built to have continuity. And it only added 11 lots. Adding 11 lots into a subdivision that already has 597 that are assumed into a traffic study has literally zero impact. And so I just want to make sure that everyone understands that like we were very conscious about the impact that the use would have with even with the uses that we were able to provide, but we went with the one that was the least resistant to adding almost zero impact to the development with our residents in mind. And there's only 11 lots being added here. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that the traffic study that was originally done encompassed not just the 597 lots, but it also encompassed the use of that parcel of what would be approvable for that parcel. And this is the least use for that parcel.
Yeah, I appreciate that you guys went out and took a look at it and instead of doing a multi-housing apartments or like you said, storage, you took that in consideration as far as the existing residences that are there, cause yeah, that could have really easily impacted a lot more or created a lot more traffic, which, you know, that's I think that's, in a way, it's beneficial to go that route, honestly, because it can definitely be worst case scenario.
And just so I can move on.
Yeah, no,
So just adding, and I understand the whole thing with the studies, I understand with the impact, thinking about in the future as to, you know, what the project was with the 500, whatever houses was in total. I mean, obviously, as things change and communities change and families change, and also how many individuals live in a home change with, you know, time. I think that obviously we're looking at something that was done 10 or 9 years ago to now. I mean, obviously things shift, right? Maybe now families, there's more families living in one home, or maybe not, more people, I don't know, depending. But I think that, I mean, obviously taking those in consideration when it comes to the impact, that it is going to be impactful to the community. I mean, obviously I'm a resident here, and then, I mean, obviously when I decided to move to Monterey Park, I mean, obviously I wasn't told that that was a possibility. Nothing was shared when I bought my home as to, oh, we have this empty lot that maybe, you know, we're going to develop into something. I mean, no one told me anything. I had no idea about it. I mean, obviously, if it was in the brands, I mean, it's going to happen, I'm assuming. But I think it's just one of those things of the honesty and the clarity as to when you're going into a community and you're investing all this money on buying your property, you're investing in, you know, making it look good and nice and whatever, investing all this money in the community and paying your taxes, and still, you know, having the issue of, okay, so why wasn't, you know, more communication in that sense? And even when I said with, I didn't even get a notice about the hearing. So I found out about the building of the homes, and I found out about the hearing through a neighbor. So just kind of like those pieces that I'm not happy about per se, but I think also, I mean, obviously with the information of, like I said, something that was done a long time ago with the study, and stop signs is not going to do anything. So traffic's still going to be there. And I know that it's just me, one person talking. I know that maybe my neighbors didn't want to talk. Maybe they reached out and provided information, but I'm just concerned about it because I think that that's going to create more chaos when it comes to traffic and other things. And I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I think that it's going to definitely impact the community.
Thank you for your comments. We as a commission are really concerned about it as well, and we will talk to staff and we'll go over all the concerns that you brought up tonight. Thank you. Was there anybody else that wanted to add something on this topic?
I have a question. Did you receive any written comments or anything to that effect?
I received a phone call from a resident, and her concerns were the same, the traffic, and speed deterrence. She suggested speed bumps, stop signs, and she would also requested an additional exit.
Do you have her name with you? Good.
I do.
Yeah.
I asked her if I could share it. Her name is Diana Estrada.
Thanks. Does she live right by there? Do you have her
Yes,
address? If you
yes.
could share that too.
I don't have her
Okay, that's
address,
all
but yes.
And the notifications that get sent out, is it like mail or what's the process? Just so we
Yes,
understand.
the notifications are the property owner information that we have is granted to us by Imperial County Assessor's Office, and unfortunately, sometimes they are behind in updating the information, and that's the information we have. I did notice when I sent out the notices that a lot of the parcels are still under Jupiter Ventures, which is the developers. So that information hasn't been updated by Imperial County. So a lot of the notices went to the developer, and perhaps the gentleman that just left was one of them.
If I can jump in and answer that question. So we actually own 8 lots between the 11 new parcels and where that gentleman lives, because I know him well. We sold him his home. And so it's well over 300 feet. I would say it's closer to 500 feet from his house down to the new parcel. And that's why nobody in the development would have received a notice, because no one is within the 300 feet requirement.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Is there any other discussion? What else do you guys want to add?
No comments at this time. I mean, I appreciate the residents' point of view and the concerns that he brought forward. It does take time and energy and, you know, for people to come up here and speak before boards, commissions, councils. And so I appreciate that he took the opportunity and saw it as a priority for him to be able to do so. So I just want to express that. I will motion to approve the tentative track map 2402 for Monterey Park with the condition that Jupiter work with the city to implement traffic calming measures. Oh, do we have to close first?
Yes.
My apologies.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing session at 6:58. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
My apologies on that one. Motion to approve the tentative track map 2402 for Monterey Park with the condition that Jupiter work with the city to implement traffic calming measures to address the traffic issues as well.
I second.
I'll call for a vote.
Motion carries 3-0.
Perfect, thank you, guys. And we'll move on to D3. Just, public hearing, discussion, action, conditional use permit 2503 for Steven Schneider to allow the operation of a drive-through Jack in the Box restaurant located at 304 South Imperial Avenue, APN 064-106006. The project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under section 15332, infill development projects. So I will open public hearing, and I will start with the staff report.
The Community
6:59.
Development Department has received building plans for Imperial's first Jack in the Box restaurant. The proposed project involves the construction of a 2,000 square foot restaurant with a drive-through, 33 parking spaces, 5 dedicated waiting stalls, and landscaping along the perimeter of the project site. During the site plan review process, it was determined that the applicant required a conditional use permit for the operation of the restaurant's drive-through. And staff recommends the approval of CUP 2503 to allow a drive-through for the proposed Jack in the Box restaurant. Staff is present, and Mr. Schneider is also in attendance via Zoom for any questions you may have.
Okay, great. Is there anybody here that would like to address the commission with public comments? Seeing none, I will go to the commissioner's report, commissioner's discussion, I guess.
Did you get any other comments in writing?
No, not for this one, no.
Francisco, do you have anything you want to add or anything?
I don't have anything. I know that I spoke to Othon early, right before the meeting, and I know the original Dollar General, we had mentioned that if, I guess there was a reason why they didn't build, but I mean, it's obvious that everything got taken care of and they should be ready to go and everything all got resolved, so there's no other hidden objects down there.
Hopefully not. When they were building the Dollar General, they were removing dirt, and that's what they found, those gas tanks. But it was at a specific location. Hopefully, when they start digging the other side, they didn't find anything. But no, they did their due diligence. That there's nothing.
I just wanted to add in the discussion, I think it's exciting that, Jack in the Box is coming, and because, as planning commission, we don't get to pick what comes, we just get to make sure that everybody fits in the box that they have to fit into, so it's really exciting to see these businesses coming to Imperial.
Especially bigger businesses bringing to our little city here and watching it grow, being able to be a part of that too. It's pretty exciting.
So I will go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:01.
I make a motion to approve the conditional use permit 25-03 for Steven Schneider to allow the operation of the drive-through Jack in the Box restaurant located at 304 South Imperial Avenue, APN 064-106-006. The project,
I'll second.
I'll call for vote. Oh, whoops.
Motion carries 3-0.
Great. Okay, so now we'll move down to reports. Commissioners have anything that they want to?
I don't have anything. It's, you know what, I take it back. Even though that we're having a lot of traffic down Ayton, it's, it's pretty, it's neat that we're getting those upgrades down Ayton. You know, especially with Mr. Tucker doing his add-ons there as well, and just bringing a lot more, you know, businesses down in the southern part of Imperial, and that's pretty nice to see it grow down there. I know we're getting landlocked down there, but it's really nice to see that going up.
I want to express appreciation to the staff for all the hard work that you guys do, especially with the Jack in the Box and other businesses that are coming to the area, because I know it takes staff work to go out and recruit that, and I just want to express appreciation to you guys for all that.
We're all full of gratitude tonight. I wanted to say I know, well, I wanted to say thank you for the employee appreciation that they had at Chevelle Farms. That was a really fun evening, and it was nice to.
Lisa danced.
I did. Yeah, embarrassingly so, but yes.
Wonderful.
It was super fun. It was nice to see everybody a little more relaxed and having a good time together, so I appreciate that. Staff, did you guys want to say anything?
Yes, a quick update on the street rehab from Belota to SR 86. There's gonna be pavement tomorrow, starting at 8 p.m. and finishing up at 5 a.m. The same with Friday, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. on Saturday. We posted notices online. All the businesses have been notified. Just you know, it's gonna be at night. So
Where was this again? I didn't hear the beginning part.
in
sorry.
Boulevard, the street rehab from Belota to SR 86.
I wanted to piggyback off that because I have the app, I get all those alerts, and it's really good because I'll text some of my friends that I know that are in that area and say, hey, this happens, and then I'll say, and download the app, because it just alerts you, so it's nice.
Thank you.
Dennis, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Nothing from me this evening.
Okay, anybody else down there? How about you over there, Mr. Quiet?
I'll jump in there. I don't get to address you guys very often, but you know, it's a pleasure being here tonight. But I want to invite you guys to our In the Park After Dark, May 16th from 4 to 10. Here at Eager Park, we'll have 15 culinary vendors, and then we'll have to wrap the night up, if you guys are into Taylor Swift, we'll have a Taylor Swift. If you got the Swiftie movement, we will have a Taylor Swift cover band closing us out for the night. So come and join us if you have the evening free. We'd be happy to see you guys there. I know I've seen a few of you at our events downtown, so we want to invite you guys to that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for that invite. Okay, I guess passing through our regular business, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the planning commission meeting until our next regularly scheduled meeting on May 14th, 2025 at 6:30.